We're looking back at 2020, 1 month at a time, and today let's talk about May. I'm not going to start with COVID 19 today because if I do, I don't think we're going to talk about anything else. So instead, we're going to talk about Adesina. Femi Adesina came under fire from a lot of you in May. He's, of course, the president's media aide. He appeared on the Morning Crossfire, if you remember, with Sheriff Quadri, and he had a conversation with you, Lagos, and that conversation went like this.
Good morning, Mr. Adesina.
Thank you.
My question to you is this, sir. You said people don't have to order the president around to do this and that. Don't you think, sir, on a moral ground, that the president is supposed to have a media chat where you'll be able to answer questions, especially on this present crisis on ground, instead of giving us a pre-recorded broadcast once in a while? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ladipo. Mr. Adesina.
Thank you. It's a matter of opinion and a matter of style. If the president chooses to adopt the broadcast style, that is his style. If you recall school days, depending on what you studied, in the stylistics class, you are told that style is idiosyncratic. What does that mean? It differs from person to person. That is the style of this president. Another president could come and he will adopt a different style. So the style that this president has adopted, let's accept it and let it suffice for us. There was a time they say he was not speaking. And then within a month, he made 3 broadcasts. What else do people want, really?
I want to ask Mr. Femi Adesina, and if he doesn't have the answer, I want him to encourage the president to come out and speak to us.
Ibekule, just ask your question.
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us, as in to have a media chat with the press, so that from there he can speak to us?
Okay, Ibekule, thank you for calling me. Mr. Adesina.
Thank you. I just want to encourage Mr. Ibekule not to continue to sound like a broken record. When this COVID thing began, President should talk to us, President should talk to us, President should talk to us. He has had 3 national broadcasts within about a month. What else do they want? What else do they want? Some people think because either you elected a president or you didn't elect him, you must lead your president by the nose. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adesina, isn't the president elected by the people? Isn't he responsible to the people?
He is quite responsible to the people, but the people don't have to lead him around by the nose. That's what I'm saying.
So, Emmanuel, I'm calling from Ikorodu in Lagos.
All right, you've got a question.
Femi Adesina, good morning.
Good morning.
Honestly, it is very important that we inform here that a president that was elected by Nigerians can be called to be spoken to Nigerians at any point in time. And it beats my imagination that each time you are being interviewed, the way you speak to Nigerians as though Nigerians are just used tissue paper. These things are not good at all. You understand? And for you to come here with your level of education,
that is the way you see yourself. If you choose to see yourself as used tissue paper, then I can't help you.
Okay.
That is the way you choose to see yourself. But Nigerians are dignified. They are people of dignity. But if you see yourself as a used tissue paper, I can't help you.
Let's speak with Prince Wires. Hi, Prince Wires. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just want to say something to Mr. Adesina. Yeah, this is national broadcast and the whole Nigeria is listening to you. I don't see the reason why you should talk to us with all this ego and arrogance. Sincerely, you are speaking with Nigerians, so you have to at least give us some respect. You're answerable to us. Yeah, we elected the president and you are appointed by him. So whatever it is that we are asking or they are talking, talking to you about, you should be able to at least answer us with respect. Saying someone is sounding like breaking record or someone is they refer to himself as tissue paper and you can't help that. You don't have to talk to us like that. I don't know why this arrogance and everything. I don't know.
All right, Lua, thank you for calling. Mr. Additional.
Just congratulations to Aurelua. If that's the way he sees himself, he's welcome to it.
Good morning, Mr. Sheriff.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, please, you see, what we are passing through in this nation is better to go straight and say it. Please, let Mr. Adesina pass our message to the president that things are not working well in this nation. We need him to address the problems of this nation. People are suffering. And when we say that you should come and tell us something, Adesina will be telling us that he has spoken 3 times or 4 times. It doesn't matter. Anytime we want him to talk, let him come and tell us. Whatever that is happening in this nation, we are not feeling comfortable. Please, Mr. Adesina, pass our message to the president. Tell him if he cannot do that, let him resign. Please. We are not comfortable anymore.
Let me respond to the Edward guy that first spoke. 2023 is another year for election. He can run. Who says he can't become president? So, when he runs and he becomes president, he can then adopt his own style. Our president has a style, and that is the style he's using.
Yeah, Chima from Postpartum.
Okay, Chima, go on ahead.
Quickly, I want to ask Mr. Adesina this morning. The style of the president. He's talked about it a couple of times this morning. Now, Nigerians, the enlightened Nigerians, we are not cool with the style of the president. Always talk to us. Talk to us. Engage us via a media chat. We have questions to ask the president directly. This is not to play the devil's advocate. I'm talking to about Mr. Adesina. Pass our message to the president. Nigerians want to have a chat with you. Your style is good, yes, but it's not cool with Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you, Chima. Mr. Adesina.
Well, we seem to be going around in circles on this matter. And the position is that the president has adopted his own style. And that is what we have for now. Another president can come and adopt another style. He will have a right to it. All those who are clamoring, talk to us, talk to us, talk to us. He didn't talk earlier, they were clamoring. He has had 3 broadcasts, they still are clamoring. It shows that head or tail, you never win with some people. If you talk to them every day, they say you are talking too much. You don't talk enough, they say you are not talking enough. So, head or tail, you never win.
Indeed. Ezedum has been on the line for some time now. Ezedum, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Quadri. Good morning, Adesina. I am Ezedum from Surrey.
My question goes to Mr. Adesina because I've been listening to this program. Honestly, I am not happy the way he replies to people because we are all citizens of this nation. We voted for Mr. President. And this is not military regime, whereby when people end their view, you attack them. That is not how to do things. I believe the government sees him to be a qualified person before they employ him to mount that role. The bigger person is spokesperson to the president. So when people ask you a question, even if at all the question is offensive, tell the person, noted, we'll work on it. Not you being attacking your fellow citizens. If you are doing this, then you are not qualified for that role. I am so surprised sometimes. I don't know the criteria that we use to elect people in this country. We are all tired of these so-called leaders. I am very, very upset this morning.
Darlington,
my bed, I've been listening to what Mr. Adesina, the way he answers people.
Darlington, you still haven't asked any question. Do you have a question? Do you have a question?
No, I'm talking to Mr. Adesina.
Okay. You made your point then. Let's move on very quickly to those who have questions. Hello, good morning to you.
Well, sorry. I also like to tell Darlington that there's another election.
Please hold on. Please, go on, Mr. Adesina.
All right.
He can run.
Okay, go on.
All right. Good morning.
Position he likes in 2023.
That conversation from May 2020 triggered a real storm. A lot of you were not thrilled But Adesina said there's no pleasing Nigerians. He said he believes the president has spoken to Nigerians enough. And what more do you want? That conversation happened because you continued to ask him again and again why President Buhari doesn't do more media chats. And that was in May. We're now in December. And the question of the president's public speeches and addresses still comes up. So, for example, with the NSAS protests, the president spoke twice, and some Nigerians said that that's fine. But other Nigerians said broadcast speeches are not enough. The president should have held press conferences or media chats so that people can ask him questions and he can answer them. Same thing with COVID-19 as well. So that's my first question for you. Do you think the president speaks to Nigerians or not? 7 months later, what do you think about Adesina's comments during that interview on the Morning Crossfire? Do you think President Buhari's personal style when it comes to speaking with the public matter? Should it matter? Should the president's personal style matter when it comes to speaking with the public? Is there a right way or a wrong way? Is there a right amount and an insufficient amount? 0700-993-993-993. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info, and we're looking back at the biggest stories of the year. We're doing it month by month, and today we're looking at the month of May 2020, and one of the biggest things that happened was our interview on the Morning Crossfire with Sheriff Quadri with President Buhari's media aide Femi Adesina. That's what you listened to earlier on before I came on. What are your thoughts on the comments that he made? What are your thoughts on the president's personal style? Does it matter? Should it matter when it comes to speaking with the public? Is there a right way? Is there a wrong way? Is there a right amount? Is there an insufficient amount? Do you think the president speaks to Nigerians or not? It's been 7 months since that interview happened on the Morning Crossfire. What do you think of Adesina's comments? 0700-993-993-993. Hello. Thanks for calling us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Sandra. My name is Ambrose.
Welcome, Ambrose.
How are you this evening?
Good.
Compliment of the season.
Same to you.
Honestly, I missed that first interview with Femi Adesina.
Okay.
And as I was just listening now, I see a man who is so arrogant, full of himself. A man who ordinarily, if he was not on that seat, he would not reply to people that way. A man who feels that because of he does not know what to say, he has to be, very, very harsh and uncivil. That's the way I see his attitude, on that day. And he said if they talk, they say they talk too much. If they don't talk, I remember the late Remi during Obasanjo's time. Each time she comes on air, even when Mr. President does anything, she diplomatically, take people. You see, these people, they behave as if they are despotic leaders. Unfortunately, these are the presidencies that we are hearing. These are the presidency. The president does not talk when he's to talk. Nothing is happening. And then 7 months after, we are still where we are. He said because you elected the president does not mean you have to control him. Excuse me. We elected him and he must do our bidding.
All right. Thank you, sir, for calling us. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, Sandra. Good morning.
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my name is Kunle.
Kunle, what do you think about the president's style? Do you think he speaks to Nigerians or not?
Yeah, I think I have to comment on that Adesina's program.
Okay.
The thing is, I see Adesina as a DJ who is playing for a party, and he says this particular song I like, so that's what I want to play for them, so they should listen by force. You don't just say this is what you want. You don't say this is the president's style. When you were campaigning, have you forgotten that you were campaigning? You came to all these places to campaign, and now you're on the throne. Now it is the style not to talk again. That's just my take.
All right. Thank you very much for calling us. 99.3. Hello. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are
Good
you?
afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Thank God for getting through. Femi.
Femi, welcome.
one of the pertinent questions I wanted to ask that gentleman just asked, I wondered if when they were campaigning, somebody had said to Mr. President and his team, if you become a president, would you talk to the people, report to the people about your job every day? I wondered if it was said, no, I studied, I won't be talking to people. I wondered if that. Number two, I'm going to just say in a very, cheeky way that I'd allow Additional and his principal because things happen, a lot of things happen in this country that, I mean, negative in this country is positive. Positive in this country is negative. Everything that is positive everywhere else has to be negative here for it to make sense. I don't want to call it arrogancy, but let me tell you, somebody should tell that old presidency that part of his job, part of his prerequisite, part of the meaning of being president is that you talk to the people. Where you live for free, the food you eat for free, the cars that they change for you for free, the private jet you and your family ride on, fly on for free, everything we give you for free. These are the things we demand from you to come back to us and say, you must talk to us. Honestly, I think it's because at some point, these same politicians killed education. The only thing that could have given people sense, the only thing that could have let people know their rights and everybody there is right and what it is demand of who they put in office, they are service men to the people. They are not rulers.
Thank you for calling us. From a president that some people say they don't hear from enough to another president that we keep hearing from, even from the grave. We got another alert in May. Let's talk about the Abacha loot. That's our second story. You've already heard about it here on Nigeria Info. We just got a fresh alert. The U.S. government just returned $300 million to the Nigerian government. That's about 120 billion naira. But there's a catch. Now, pay attention, there's a catch. The U.S. government doesn't trust that the Nigerian government will not re-loot the money. So they made Nigeria sign an agreement. First, our government agreed to use the money for specific projects. Second, our government agreed that if any of the money is diverted or embezzled, Nigeria will refund that money. America will take that money back. Yeah, more Abacha loot. And of course, we had all these debates in the country, as usual, about whether or not the recovered loot will be properly used or whether the loot will be relooted. But then there was a second debate, a debate about what the Americans were saying about taking the money back. Some of you felt that this was an insult to Nigeria as a sovereign nation. Do you remember? But some of you said, no, it's necessary. Necessary because someone has to protect Nigeria's money from the government. 7 months later, I wonder whether you've changed your mind or if you still feel the way you did in May. In light of everything that's happened in the past 7 months, especially with COVID and palliatives and all of that, what do you think about foreign countries placing conditionalities on the Abacha loot before returning it? Yes, you can still talk about the conversation with Femi Adesina on Nigeria Info back in May. And you can talk about the president's style. You can talk about if there's a wrong way or right way to do these things. You can talk about whether there's a right amount or an insufficient amount with regards speaking to citizens as a public office holder. 0700-993-993-993. Godson in Apapa is on the line now. Hello, Godson. Thank you for calling us.
Okay, Sandra.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, Sandra.
Go ahead.
Please, I want to speak on Femi Adesina issue and Mr. President.
Go ahead.
You see, I just listened to the interview now. To be honest with you, what I saw in Femi Adesina is a man who is not qualified at all to be appointed or elected into any public office, because he will end up messing everything up. You see, Nigerians demand simple question, simple answer from you as the closest person to the president. and all you end up doing is to frustrate any question they ask you, because this is internal frustration. Anybody that asks you a question, you try to frustrate that person. You even try to frustrate the Sharif himself. So it's not good at all. It's not good. It doesn't go well with me.
All right, Godson, thanks for calling us. 99.3. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, what's your name, sir?
My name is I'm calling from Lekki.
2 stories so far from May. Which one do you want to talk about?
Yes, I would like to talk about the May issue.
Yes, which of the stories? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually, from my own side, the man is kind of rude somehow, but I think that he's trying to defend his own job. So, as I say it, for Mr. President to adopt such a style, that you have to wait, you have to talk, you have to complain, you have to kill before you come out and say, okay, yes, let me talk to my people. It's not done that way. At least the social media stuff or the press is okay for us. So we can know what we are doing, we can know where we are heading. We can't just keep quiet. We voted for you because we trust you. Now you are there, you are keeping this on us, which is unfair. So I think Mr. Adeshino should apologize to Nigerians for such a mess he did that day. So that's my own side of it.
Thank you for calling to share your thoughts. 99.3, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
My name is Akim. I'm calling from Egbeda.
2 stories from May 2020. Which one do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about this Femi Adesina issue.
Go ahead.
Madam Sandra, I want to ask you, did you know the implication of the way Femi Adesina was talking to Nigeria? Did you know the implication? Did you understand what the way he's talking can cause?
No. No, tell me.
You don't know?
No.
If you are tweeting people, if you are in a position of power and you are tweeting people with disdain and contempt, it will make people to revolt. Those are the things that will result in that kind of a thing that we witness during the SARS. It can make people to come for you. People can decide to attack you personally. I think you understand what I mean.
I see.
In fact, somebody need to talk to that guy. If you are in a position of authority and you are treating people with utmost disdain and contempt, people mind will be hardened against you, and they're ready to do anything. Those are the things that cause terrorism. I'm telling you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling us. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. So far, we've told you about the president's spokesman, Femi Adesina, coming under fire from a lot of you in May 2020. That's because we're taking a look back at 2020, 1 month at a time. And today we're talking about the month of May. He appeared on the Morning Crossfire with Sheriff Quadri. You should listen to that show, by the way. It starts every day at 5 a.m. and ends at 9 a.m. And then Jimmy Disu takes over, and then Colin Stecker takes over, and then all the way to Sandra. But he appeared on the Morning Crossfire, and you asked him why President Buhari doesn't do more media chats, and he answered the way you just heard him answer, and a lot of you were not thrilled. Now, Adesina said that there's no pleasing Nigerians. He said he believes the president has spoken to Nigerians enough. What more do you want? Now we're in December, and the question of the president's public speeches and addresses still comes up. So, NSAS protest, the president spoke twice. Nigerians said, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Other Nigerians said, broadcast speeches are not enough. President should have held press conferences or media chats so that questions can be asked about certain things. Same with COVID-19. And then I told you that Abacha sent us some money from the grave, and foreign countries said, we're going to give you this money on the condition that.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Mama Mina won't send money, make Amina collect for school. Obina won't withdraw from your account, but you no carry in card. Hey, written then go use. Na Momo, then go use. Na Momo agents, then go use you. Sissy Ronke won't pay light bill, plus must recharge Go TV. Me she follow go Miss Telemundo. Tamuna say she won't buy data for phone. Wetin dem go use? Na Momo dem go use. Na Momo agents dem go use you.
Now, with your Momo agent, you fit send and receive money, plus to withdraw money for your bank account without card or data. You fit also buy airtime and data or pay any kind bill where you want. Just dial *223# to see the Momo agent when near you. Momo agent. Save fast, no wahala.
Lemon Friday. It's Christmas season and Adron Lemon Friday is here again. This time, it's bigger and better. Now is your time to become a landlord. Enjoy up to 40% discount this Lemon Friday with special goodies delivered to your doorsteps. Buy a piece of land from Adron Homes this Christmas and enjoy mouth-watering Christmas gifts like double-door fridge, Adron seasoning pack, electric iron, blenders, deep freezers, refrigerators, 49-inch TV, 50 kg bag of rice, turkey, vegetable oil, and a whole big cow. To enjoy this amazing Lemon Friday offer, subscribe to any Adron land within our estates in Shimawa, Ibejuleki, Ekwe, Badagry, Imota, Abeokuta, Ijebode, Shagam, Atonta, Ibadan, Oshun, Nasarawa, and Abuja with an initial deposit of 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 naira or more. For more information, call this number 0805-625-9683, 0905-897-0587. This is a special Lemon Christmas like no other. Offer valid from October 2020 to January 2021. This Lemon Friday, we move.
Lemon Friday. Life gets sweet when you insure even sweeter with all Union and Rock Insurance. We sabi help you rock life wella, no shaking, no tori. Auto where the road need, Law Union and Rock Insurance. Family where sabi need, Law Union and Rock Insurance. We are going to insure your house.
Now, over 60 years, Law Union and Rock Insurance don't deal with retail products like Motor Comprehensive Insurance to make your mind cool. Home card insurance, campus and NYSC cap insurance, international and local travel insurance, where you go fit to get up to $50,000 benefits for chicken money. Insure with Law Union and Rock Insurance. Make life better for you. For more information, call 0813-985-0850 or go to www.lawunioninsurance.com. Law Union and Rock Insurance. Solid as ever.
Hello? Mommy. Enjoyment minister.
I did say you.
Mommy, how you dey enjoy village now?
My darling, I dey enjoy myself, not be small. Wait, you remember Uncle Femi now?
Yes, now.
In the year, he want to greet you.
Uncle Femi, good evening, sir.
Auntie Fiona dey here sef, or you greet her too?
Auntie V, compliment of the season, va.
Wait, talk to Uncle Jide, he won't hear your voice too.
Who be Uncle Jide?
You mean say you don't remember Uncle Jide? That time when you still small and they come carry you go square?
Now you too can get closer to family and loved ones with 10% bonus credit on every recharge. Just dial *777# to recharge or recharge using Glow Cafe. Offer lasts till December 31st, 2020.
He never finish you. Oh, yeah, follow your grand attitude talk now. You don't go follow your uncle talk. See your cousin,
Glow Unlimited.
This tailor is frustrating me. How does a round neck become a V-neck for God's sake? My deadline is tomorrow.
What are you thinking about, Angela?
With the new normal and everything, I've been more stressed. And my workload at my job has increased rapidly. My bills have also gone up. And I'm thinking of how I can meet up. And I don't even have enough to fund my fashion designing hustle.
Wow, that's quite something. Why don't you sign up on Alert and get a salary-based loan? You don't have to step in a bank and zero documentation.
Really?
Download the app and have access to the salary-based loan to help you manage things better. That's what I've been doing, and they've been giving me the financial support I need.
You're not a good friend, and you're just telling me now.
Get your salary-based loan on Alert with zero documentation, all in the palm of your hand. Note, this is only available for salary earners. Terms and conditions apply. Alert, powered by Wema Bank.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk, and cocoa, and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this, I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Sade yesterday, but you know they use him again now. Yeah, you don't carry carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out. On top Airtel SIM.
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Obonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions, Joe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Would you like to easily buy airtime, data, top up your electricity token, pay for new meter, renew your cable TV subscription, and pay other bills easily without storage to touch? Yes, you can do all these and more with Remita. You can make payments through any means you find convenient. ATM card, USSD, mobile money, phone number, internet banking, transfer, or even with cash at any bank branch or agent location near you. Indeed, Remita is all you need to make your next payment from the comfort of your home, office, shop, car, or anywhere. With Remita, easy is the new cool. Download the Remita app from Google Play Store or Apple Store, or visit www.remita.net to start making payments now. Remita, because payment should be easy.
Airpeace now flies direct from Lagos to Johannesburg, South Africa every Thursday and Sunday. Airpeace offers you the most affordable fare option with so much comfort. Also, your only option for a direct flight from Lagos to Johannesburg, South Africa. Now you can say Idego in Nigeria and Sawubona in South Africa 6 hours later. For more information, visit www.flyairpeace.com or download our mobile app. Airpeace, your peace, our goal.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
It's Hard Facts.
Lagos, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 5:34 and we're reviewing the year 2020, 1 month at a time. And today is the turn of April. I've brought you Abacha's loot. I've brought you Adeshino's comments. Let me bring you more stories about trust, because essentially that's what Abacha's story, Abacha's loot story is about. Ultimately, your opinion depends on whether you believe Nigerian politicians in general can be trusted with the Commonwealth. And that depends on why they go into politics to begin with, isn't it? What's their motivation, right? In May, one particular politician told us what the reason was that made politicians join politics. I didn't join politics because I wanted to be a leader or because I wanted to solve Nigeria's problems. I joined because of unemployment. That's a quote from Rotimi Amechi, the transport minister. And that's our third story, our final story. Amechi said that in an interview with The Punch. Now remember this. Amechi has been in government non-stop for the last 20 years. First, 8 years as Speaker in the River State House of Assembly, then 8 years as Governor of the state, and then for the last 5 years, Transport Minister. So you could very easily say that Amechi is one of the most successful politicians of the Fourth Republic. Anything we are seeing in this country, good or bad, a man like Amechi has a big role in it. And here he is saying, he didn't enter politics to solve your problems. He entered because work no day. I brought you that story in May, and again, this story generated a lot of buzz. There was a big debate about whether or not politics is just a job and whether it was a calling or whether it was a vocation. Should people go into politics see because it's another job? The people who go into it, should they be going into it because they see it as another job, just another way to pay their bills? Some of you at the time said yes. Yes. Some of you said you want people to see it as a job and see it as a job that they must do well to pay their bills. And some of you said no. Some of you said governance requires people who are selfless, who are ready to put the good of the public above their own personal interests. So it's not just a job. And I really enjoyed that debate back in May. And I want us to keep it going because it's really a debate about the kind of governance that you want. Do you think Amechi's comments were proper? Do you think they were not proper? Do you agree that politics is just a job? Do you think it's just a way to avoid unemployment? Or do you think that it should be a calling? 0700-993-993-993. Share your thoughts via Facebook as well. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. We're streaming live. You can also share your thoughts via WhatsApp 080-959-75805. WhatsApp again 080-959-75805. Ovie is in Lekki. Ovie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sandra. Compliment of the season.
Same to you.
Sandra, what's this? Femi Adesina granted that interview that morning on Nigeria Info, I was listening.
Okay.
And my first reaction, Sandra, was that I was afraid. Let me tell you the first person that came to my mind. If you were the first person that came to my mind.
Okay.
And my thoughts were, because the way you handle issues, very impassioned, very forthright, and all that.
Thank you.
I just wondered for a while, and then someone like Sheriff also, that if people like you were to tomorrow be in the corridors of power also, what will we get from you people? And this is the reason why that thought came to my mind. I used to read Femi Adesina when I was younger, some years back.
Okay.
And in the Sun newspapers, he used to have this column on the back page.
Yes.
And Femi Adesina so intelligently, so impassionately dissected issues, and you just saw somebody who had answers at his fingertips, somebody who was brilliant in his expressions and all of that. And reading Femi Adesina was something I looked forward to. There was this other guy also, Wazoo. I've forgotten the full name now. Both of them. I know that they were three. I think the other guy was Dimba or something. Let me not go into all of that, anyways. Okay. But yeah. So when I juxtapose that Femi Adesina to the Femi Adesina who spoke on Nigeria Info that morning, it makes me afraid that who really are we, and what actually are the issues we are contending with? Is it a matter of when people of government, they are the best of people, the journalists are the...
Oh no, why is your connection crapping out over here? No. And that was right when you were gonna hit the nail on the head. If you can, please call us back over here. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The studio number is 0700-993-993-993. Is politics a job, just a job, a way to avoid unemployment, or do you think it should be a calling? Taiwo is in Ikorodu. Hello, Taiwo.
Yeah. Concerning the topic, that guy is a joker. Yeah.
Which guy?
I don't know. I don't want to name.
Okay.
Bali.
Okay. If you're going to call, at least be respectful and cordial with your comments, all right? Let's not descend into anarchy. 99.3. Hello? 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 Okay. 99.3.
Hello, Sandra. This is Ambrose once again.
Hello, Ambrose again.
Yes, Rotimi Amechi. I'm sure he didn't tell the people of Rivers State when. Let's even assume that he got in through the court in his first term. Did he tell the people of Rivers that he was into politics because he had no job? I think everyone knows that the first law of man is survival. So there is nothing wrong if you get into politics. But it is not for you to enrich yourself. And it is not, because when you have that kind of mindset, you're definitely not going to, do well. And that's why most of them, from speaker, they become governor, from governor, they become senators or ministers, and all their life, they have no investment. So I think what Ameti has said for me, I don't think a politician, but that's the average mentality of the mentality of the average politicians. They are jobbers, they are political jobbers. They are not there, to govern. I mean, you can be a governor and then, you can also, deliver, democracy, dividends of democracy to the people. So I think 2023, Nigerians should wake up. That's all I want to say. I don't think we have learned any lessons, but I hope so.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for calling us. Also, in May, we had a very heart-wrenching story on the Big Three. I wonder if you remember this story. Our second story is one that is a sad one from Gowon Estate here in Lagos. A 22-year-old woman has turned herself in for drowning her 21-month-old daughter. Fumi Lola Adisa lived with her sister and her daughter Oluwanifemi, but on Monday, she drowned the toddler in a bucket. She then went to the police to report herself. She confessed, and she gave reasons for her actions. She said she killed her daughter out of frustration. According to her, a classmate in a JAM lesson impregnated her but denied the baby. She wanted to abort the baby, but her parents refused. She passed JAM, she got admission, but she could not start university because of the pregnancy. So she lost her admission. After the child was born, she wanted to give her up to an orphanage, but again, family pressured her to keep the baby. Neither her nor her sister were working. According to Adisa, she felt trapped, and she decided that the only way to free herself was to kill the baby. Awful story, just heartbreaking. And it led to a very heartfelt, very nuanced conversation about postpartum depression. A lot of you called in to tell your stories, or the stories of your wives, the stories of your mothers, the stories of your sisters, the stories of other women in your lives. And we ended up talking about it some more a week later. Do you remember?
Yes. I have this kind of issue before with one of my brother wives.
Okay.
Her own is like, if she just delivered, after the 7 days she delivered, there will be a different character again. But sometimes she will realize, my baby. Maybe by then you don't throw away the baby like, let's say, 5 minutes or 5 hours ago. So later, we collect the baby and drop it with one of our auntie, and begin they go from hospital to hospital. I even go to IKEA year by year. From there, we go to church, this and that. Then our pastor asked us to bring her back to village and from a boy state.
Okay.
So we now send them back to. We sent her to village with one of my younger sister and the husband.
But you went to the hospital. What did the hospital say?
The psychiatrist did not tell us anything. Then just said it's a mental disorder, and then give her medicine. Some medicine. We take some medicine for 12 hours.
Okay.
6,000, 7,000, the other one 12,000. Then we're just sending us on. And if they give the injection, immediately they give the injection, she will be like a dead person.
Okay.
She will not disturb anybody again. When she still wake up for some hour, she will say, brother, I am weak. I'm weak. Where is my baby? Where is my baby? Then after the drugs go out of her body, she will start misbehaving. Though by special grace of God now, they have 5 children with my senior brother, and she's okay, and she's doing well.
Oh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Moses, calling from Ikeja.
Moses, good to have you on the show.
All right. What you are discussing makes me to remember back then when I was in school.
Okay.
There was a woman. So the woman has 2 children. But they said it's Ogbanje that is worrying her.
Okay.
So sometimes when the craze will start, you will see that you carry the children, you trade them up, you play rough play, visit them. that is here, notice it. You cannot. You will try to hold the woman. Will not agree. So through that, they now try and separate the children from the woman. One day, and I hear that the woman ran away. Today, they did not see the woman.
So a lot of you agreed that women were going through postpartum depression, and they needed help. Women who are going through that need help from mental health professionals. You can actually listen to that conversation on our podcast, Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. This is something that the pandemic and the lockdown really exposed, right? But the problem, of course, is supply. We simply don't have enough mental health professionals, and the few that we have are moving abroad. Do you remember that story? Do you know any mothers who struggled with depression after having their child? What do you think Nigeria should be doing to improve the supply of mental health services? Do you even consider mental health important? 0700-993-993-993. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. A lot of stories to pick from and talk about from the month of May. If I haven't touched on the story that you believe was the biggest one for that month, you can still raise it as well. Again, it's 0700-993-993-993. Share your thoughts via WhatsApp 080-959-75805. Hello. Thanks for calling us.
Hello.
What's your name?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Gideon. I'm calling from Pesta.
Good to have you on the show. Go ahead.
Yes, please. I wanted to talk about the additional story.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes. What I feel is additional is a very. I don't know how to explain. I don't want to be condescending now.
Thank you.
He's a very, very brash. Let me say brash. Let me use brash.
Okay.
Because I don't think he knows the office he holds. Because it's meant to be an avenue for us to speak or hear from the president. And you come online, you come on TV, on air with so much arrogance. To me, it's doing a disservice to the government. And it's because our president is someone that if you appoint you, he doesn't sack, he doesn't suspend, he just let you do what you want to do. So it's just a silly shit. Now for the last story, about the mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, on my own opinion, most times people just don't have money, to be honest. Okay. Because if someone is doing well, because Nigeria, to be honest, there's a lot of things we are dealing with. So I think, let me say 60% of mental health issues now in Nigeria is financial.
I see.
So that's my own submission.
All right. Thank you for calling to share that. A lot of people in developed countries with more money than Nigerians will look at that, will look at this conversation and say, what is this man talking about? 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. We'll take one more call and I'll bring you more stories as well because we're out of time and I hope that we can get through all the stories for the month of May. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Rotimi. I'm calling from Ojota.
Welcome, Rotimi.
So, as someone who works in mental health, I was laughing at the last statement. The ignorance is loud. And the truth is, yes, for quite a number of people, they think that money solves all the problems until you meet multi-millionaires who are suicidal and have depression. And I've had it for years. And the truth is, there's just something about mental health that has nothing to do with your pocket size and things like that.
Yeah.
So people should just understand and be a little bit more empathetic.
Yeah.
Because I've heard this said many times that, look, don't worry, give him 1 million, it will stop feeling sad. And truth is, there's a difference between sad and depression. They're not the same thing. And quite a number of people conflate the two.
Yeah.
But the issue on the story of the postpartum depression and the living of many mental health care professionals and practitioners is a major, major problem.
Yeah.
And the truth is, with a pandemic like COVID, and with a second wave, we're going to have more cases, and we need as many people as we can get. So I think we need to do more in terms of training other people to become mental health advocates, because for us to say that only mental health professionals can start to offer mental health care, we will never have enough. I mean, we have less than 200 psychiatrists for 200 million Nigerians, so it just doesn't make sense that we're going to have enough. So I think we need to do more, and government needs to do more, and we all just need to get more educated about what mental health issues are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rotimi, for calling us. Another big story in Lagos in the month of May was the government showing down, having that showdown with couriers, dispatch riders. Remember, basically after the ban on Okadas for carrying passengers, a lot of the riders switched to logistics and carrying parcels. And of course, that business was booming during the lockdown because people still needed to move things, even if they couldn't move. And then government started to crack down. And we talked to some logistics operators at the time, as well as customers and the government, and we heard from you. And for a lot of you at that time, the question was whether these dispatch riders could not be regularized without disrupting the economy. Because suddenly, because of the lockdown, Lagos needed a lot of delivery people. And at the same time, you suddenly have a lot of bike riders. So perhaps there could be a way to make sure that all these businesses get operating licenses without getting them off the streets. And then there were complaints about the cost of the licenses. And the question was, should government not reduce those prices for the sake of the pandemic? So 2020 was packed, man. So many stories. I didn't even tell you about Abu Madagascar. A lot of you dragged me about Abu Madagascar. Well, it's not Abu Madagascar. I mean, it's it had a name, Madagascar's COVID medicine. I don't even remember the name right now because I've called it Abu Madagascar so many times. So that's the name for that medicine in my head. But I'm glad we've all seen where things have happened with that particular COVID-19 quote-unquote vaccine. It's like I always say on this show, it's hard facts, not hard opinions. And you can listen again on any of your streaming platforms. I am back tomorrow at 3 with the glass ceiling. We'll do a review of the biggest stories on the glass ceiling tomorrow as well. Sandra Ezekwesili on social media. Have a good evening.
More talk, news and sports after this.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.